Is it time for Premier François Legault to reconsider his political future? A new poll suggests half of Quebecers think it's time for him to step down as leader of the CAQ. The party is seeing its worst poll numbers in more than a decade. And with support for the CAQ collapsing, is this the return of the traditional rivalry between the Liberals and the Parti Québécois? Joining us now is political analyst Raphael Melancon. Hi, Raphael.
Good evening, Maya.
So earlier this week, you wrote a column in the Gazette, and the headline was, Legault should consider stepping down for the CAQ's own good. So let's take a look at these latest poll numbers from Leger. I'm guessing these numbers don't come as a surprise to you because you've already given this some thought, clearly. But is it even worse than you thought?
Well, clearly it's very bad news for François Legault in this CQ. It's not looking good because here, in politics, I always say that, but we're really looking for a trend. And here the trend has been going downwards for the CQ for over a year now. And it's also being confirmed 2 weeks in a row. We had also last week, let's remember, the Palace data poll that also showed the CQ around 15%. So this week, 17%, 15%. We're within the margin of error, but that means that for the CQ, if an election were to be held today, the party would be left with almost no seats, according to the latest projections. They would be completely wiped out from the electoral map in Quebec. So, of course, that's no good news to François Legault. And what we see here today is that we now have a two-way race between the PQ and the Liberals. It's no longer a question of a three-way race with the CQ. The CQ is no longer in the game. All 86 MNAs of the CQ, including Legault himself, are currently at risk of losing their seat in the next election, whether it happens in a year and a half or earlier, if ever Legault calls an early vote, who knows. But certainly this is not looking good for the CQ, and it raises questions also internally as to should the leader change, or at least change his strategy, because so far what François Legault has been saying in the media is that he doesn't even intend to change his strategy.
Well, that's
so
exactly
he's maintaining
it.
the same course.
Do you think he'll be forced to reconsider given what we're seeing?
Well, I mean, it's his own decision, and I think that while he's taking some rest during this summer, he should take some time to reflect about his political future and maybe think of resigning, of stepping down while he still has control of the political agenda. Because if you look what happened just a few months ago on the federal stage, François Legault is pretty much at the moment around at the same place as Justin Trudeau was about a year ago. So he was clinging to power. He was trying to remain the leader of his party, whereas this was a sinking ship. And of course, internally, people are starting to worry. All those 86 MNAs at risk of losing their job are questioning the leadership of the premier right now. And the more time is flying, the more the pressure will grow if things don't turn around quickly for François Legault. So I would say if by the end of this fall, the CQ is not back up in the polls, certainly he could be facing a push from his own party. The party he built himself 14 years ago could be pushing him out, basically.
Right. And just very quickly, we only have about a minute left. Olivia reported on this earlier. Support for sovereignty is on the rise among young people. What do you make of that?
Very interesting. And I would say here, my analysis is probably due to a leader's effect. Of course, we know the PQ has chosen a younger leader. And to me, clearly, it indicates that having a younger leader probably reaches out better to younger generations of Quebecers who are tempted to vote for the PQ because they recognize themselves in the leadership and in the personality of Paul Saint-Pierre, the leader of the PQ. Whereas on the other side, the Liberals recently, as we know, have chosen Pablo Rodriguez, who's from another generation and probably will have more difficulty to reach out to younger generations. So it's a choice for the Liberals, of course, that is not in line with the need for renewal for that party, of course.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there, Raphael. Thank you, as always, for your insights. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Maya. See you next time.